Have you ever felt like no matter how much fertilizer or compost you spread, your soil still feels heavy, tired, and somehow lifeless? You're not alone. Many of us who've gardened for decades know that disappointment all too well. When we pour time, energy, and even hope into our soil, but by spring, it just doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Well, my friends, this November, I want to share something that might just change the way you think about feeding your garden forever. It's time to stop relying on the garden center. Yes, you heard that right. Stop going there. Not because their products are bad, but because there's a smarter, cleaner, and more natural way to rebuild your soil that works quietly through winter and rewards you threefold by spring. You see, winter is one of those quiet months when most gardeners hang up their gloves and wait for spring to come. But for those of us who understand the rhythm of nature, winter is not the end of gardening. It's the secret beginning of next season's success. What you do in your soil now determines whether your next harvest will struggle or thrive. And here's the good news. You don't need expensive products, synthetic fertilizers, or even a trip to the store. Everything you need to triple your harvest naturally is already right in your kitchen pantry, free or nearly free, waiting to be used in a smarter way. So, grab your cup of tea, take a deep breath of that crisp air, and let's rebuild your soil the way nature intended, quietly, slowly, and powerfully. Part 1. Understanding the sleeping giant. When we think of winter soil, we picture a frozen block, dormant and still. But beneath the surface, something remarkable is waiting to happen. The soil is not dead. It is merely asleep. Tiny microbes, bacteria, fungi, protozoa are sitting there in a state of suspended animation, waiting for one thing: energy. You see, fertilizers provide nutrients like nitrogen and potassium, but they don't provide energy. Energy comes from carbon. It comes from carbohydrates. Just like you need toast or oatmeal to start your day, soil microbes need simple starches to wake up and start working. And this brings us to the great debate. Gardeners have long argued about the best carbohydrate source. Is it the water from washing rice? Is it wheat berries ground up? Or is it simple, white baking flour? I decided to put this to the test. Not a laboratory test, but a gardener's test. I wanted to see which of these three common pantry staples would wake up the soil microbes the fastest, generating that beautiful white fungal growth and that rich, earthy smell we all love. Part 2. Step 1. Setting the stage. To make this fair, I prepared 3 identical pots of tired, heavy garden soil, the kind of soil that feels dead in your hands. In the first pot, I used rice water. We've all heard the old wisdom: never throw away the cloudy water when you rinse your rice. It is full of starches. In the second pot, I used cracked wheat, whole grains that had been soaked and crushed, mimicking the natural decay of seeds in a field. And in the third pot, I used something controversial: plain, white, all-purpose flour, just a dusting mixed with water. I watered each pot equally. I placed them in a cool, dark place, mimicking the conditions of the November underground. And then I waited. I wasn't looking for plant growth. I was looking for life. I was looking for mycelium, the white web of fungi that acts as the internet of the soil. And I was looking for heat, a sign that the bacteria were having a feast. Part 3. Step 2. The rice result. After 3 days, I checked the rice water pot. The results were gentle. There was a slight sweet smell. If you looked very closely with a magnifying glass, you could see tiny colonies of bacteria forming on the surface. Rice water is excellent. It is a mild, gentle tonic. It contains vitamins and a little bit of starch. But because the starch particles in rice water are microscopic and dissolved, they get eaten very quickly by bacteria, but they don't leave much behind for the fungi. It's like giving a child a piece of candy, a quick burst of energy, and then it's gone. The soil felt a little moister, but it wasn't transformed. It was still heavy. Part 4, Step 3, the wheat experiment. Next, I checked the cracked wheat pot. Here, things were happening, but slowly. The wheat berries were swelling, some mold was growing on the grain itself, but the soil around it hadn't changed much. Why? Because wheat has a shell. It has bran. It is complex. For a microbe to eat a piece of wheat, it has to work hard. It has to break down that outer toughness. This is a long-term strategy. If you dig wheat into your garden now, it will feed the soil in March or April. But we are looking for a wake-up call. We want to stimulate the soil now so it can process the leaves and mulch we are adding for winter. Wheat was too slow. It was stubborn. Part 5, Step 4, the flour miracle. And then I opened the third pot, the flour pot. My friends, the difference was shocking. The surface of the soil was covered in a thick white blanket of mycelium. It looked like snow, but it wasn't just on top. When I dug my finger into the soil, it crumbled. The texture had changed in just 72 hours. It had gone from hard clay to soft, dark earth. And the smell, it smelled like a mushroom farm. It smelled like deep, rich forest humus. Why did flour win? It comes down to surface area. When wheat is ground into flour, every microscopic particle of starch is exposed. There are no shells, no skins, no barriers. It is an open buffet for the microbes. Bacteria and fungi don't have teeth. They absorb their food. Flour provides instant, accessible energy. It causes a population explosion of beneficial life almost immediately. This explosion of life creates glue, glomalin, that sticks soil particles together into those beautiful crumbs we gardeners dream of. Part 6, Step 5, the method. So, how do we use this knowledge without making a mess? You might be tempted to just throw handfuls of flour on your garden. Don't do that. If you throw dry flour, it will gum up when it rains. It will form a doughy crust that blocks the air. It might even attract rats or raccoons. We need to make a microbial milk. Here is the recipe for your November wake-up call. Take a bucket. Fill it with rainwater or dechlorinated water. For every gallon of water, add just 2 tablespoons of flour. That's it. You don't need a whole bag. We are feeding microbes, not baking a cake. Whisk it vigorously until it looks like skim milk. Walk out to your garden. Pour this liquid over your beds, right over the fallen leaves, right over the mulch, or directly onto the bare soil. Then, Rinse it in with a little more water. Part 7, Step 6, the pairing. Now, flour is pure energy, carbon, but life needs balance. To make this work threefold, you need to pair the flour with something. Remember how I said November is the time for falling leaves? This is the perfect marriage. Leaves are hard to digest. They are tough. Microbes need a lot of energy to break down a maple leaf. By pouring your flour milk over the layer of leaves on your garden, you are giving the microbes the energy drink they need to tackle the hard work of decomposing the leaves. It speeds up the composting process dramatically. If you do this now, in November, by March those leaves won't be a soggy mess. They will be half-digested, rich, dark leaf mold. Part 8. Step 7. The senior advantage. I love this method because it is gentle. There is no heavy lifting. There is no turning of compost piles. For those of us with stiff backs or aching knees, this is gardening by intelligence, not by brute force. You are using biology to do the digging for you. When those millions of microbes wake up to eat the flour, they move, they travel through the soil, they open up pores, they aerate the ground better than a rototiller ever could, and they generate a tiny amount of heat, just enough to keep the soil biology active a few weeks longer into the winter.